There's a mistake that monkeys make that I think you and I can make too. In fact, I remember researching this some years ago and thinking at the time, gosh, am I still making that mistake? And I was, and I still am, and I want to share my thoughts with you today. So here's a picture for us to have a look at. As you can see, there is a glass jar, and it's tied with what's called a monkey knot. Now, years ago, when hunters were trying to capture monkeys in the African jungle, this is one of the techniques they would use. They would put a small piece of fruit or other food inside the jar, and they would tie the other end of the rope to a tree. The monkey would come along, see the fruit in the jar, put his hand in, grab the fruit, and then, because he'd made a fist, he couldn't get his fist out of the jar. Now, the solution is pretty simple, isn't it? Let go of the fruit, hand comes out. What do monkeys do? Grab the fruit, don't let go. Try again, don't let go. Try again, don't let go. The hunter comes along and they know it's a threat. What do? Do they let go of the fruit? No, they don't. They keep hold of the fruit and they cannot release their hand, can't get out the jar, jar's attached with a rope to the tree, can't get away and get captured. Now, this is obviously a metaphor, so you realise that there's a number of things that we can do with this. And so thinking about this and wanting to share it with myself, because as I'm recording this, it's coming up to the start of a new year, I was thinking about how does this work in my life, and is there an idea here I could share with you? And it's all about letting go. In some conversations that I've had with people, and I remember interviewing a lady called Patricia Fripp some years ago, she talked about tolerations. And I think this is one of the things that I know is happening in my life, is that unless we're very careful, we get into a situation where we tolerate a person, a situation, an exposure, whatever it might be, and we don't take action with it. So in order to help myself and therefore to be able to help you, what I've done is I've made a list of 10 things that we can consider when we're talking about letting go. And let me share them with you now. The first one is that we can hold on to outdated methods. So again, that's just like the monkey holding on. What we need to do, obviously, is to release those old ideas and start to think, if their time has passed, what is it that we can do new? Number two, we can hold on to the idea of a fear of losing clients. And yet, I believe every so often it's a good idea to go through the exercise of ABC, gold, silver, bronze, whatever marking system that we want to use and say, okay, where are we in our lives at the moment? How do these particular clients, customers, patients fit into what it is that we're doing? And is there a different way that we can do them? Or is it that some of them, it's no longer working for them or for us? So there's another one thinking about that. We can sometimes be not letting go and become overcommitted and burnt out, because we get into a habit of doing things in a certain way, working at a certain pace, and then instead of taking that step back, and this is the ideal time of year for me, to step back and go, hang on a minute, what's going on? Is it the way I want it to be going forward? This is something that I say suffer with. It benefits me and I also suffer with it. And it's this, and I don't know if you're the same, perfectionism. I am a perfectionist and I do want things to be done in a certain way. When I create content, I can spend a whole day creating a 1-hour webinar, and sometimes even longer than that, because I know I want it to look right, I want it to feel right, I want the words that I say to be right. Do I do stuff extemporaneously? Yes, I do, because I enjoy doing it in that way as well. But is it that you have been held back by perfectionism? Past successes and past failures is also on my list, that sometimes the way that we have succeeded in the past means that we keep going like that, even though things have changed. And sometimes the way that we failed in the past, we've held on to that failure and it stopped us from moving forward. We're tolerating our activity, we're holding on. There's another one which is relevant, and especially the business I'm in, I'm sure the business that you're in as well, is that some people are reluctant to invest in themselves. And that's a thought process that they've held on to. There's a lot of free information and good free information about these days. And yes, but by the same token, when we invest in our own learning, that's when we buy in heavily. And that's when I find that we get the best results. we can stick to a niche that no longer fits with who we are and what we've learned. You and I are lifelong learners, otherwise we wouldn't be in the situation we are at the moment. We are lifelong learners. We keep learning new stuff. And as Zig Ziglar said, it's what we learn today gives value to what we learned yesterday. So we learn all this new stuff and now we can apply it in a different way. And sometimes we can be then stuck in a niche that we pick for ourselves that now maybe needs to move on. So we're stuck there. Sometimes this is certainly relevant in my life. We can avoid sometimes having difficult conversations. I'm a very direct communicator, and so this doesn't normally happen, but occasionally it does. So I'm well aware of it and have to make sure that I don't allow myself to get stuck because I don't want to have that difficult conversation. I've got to find a way to have it. And the other one, the last one, is over-reliance on either a single client, a single number of clients, or a single way of particularly doing business in the sense of a revenue stream that comes in for us. And as I've talked about in other videos, that is an exposure. So we need to be careful with that. So as we go into a new year, and I don't know when you're watching this particular video, but if it's a new period of your life, perhaps you'll give thought to the monkey and how it gets stuck. Have I got the slide there? Yes, I have. Get thought how that monkey gets stuck with its hand in the jar, and because it won't let go, it gets trapped and taken away. I'm sure that we don't get stuck like that. Actually, I know I do. So I hope you've enjoyed this and that you're able to take this idea away, and you can have a look at my other videos around here. And in the meantime, as we move forward into this new period, whatever it might be, I wish you every success in all your adventures in life. From me, Peter Thomson, until the next time, goodbye for now.